Good morning, guys. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina. Captain Garrett, Will, and the boys, Richie, Tammy, just got back in from a 39-hour fishing trip. Got a nice pile of amberjack. The amberjack bite has continued to be impressive, surprising to say the least. Got some big, massive yellowtails, some nice red grouper, fat mangroves. Gag bite was a little tough. I guess you could say pretty darn tough. Didn't really get any gag grouper action going, but plenty of nice amberjack, and that big old yellowtail is a nice one. Looks like you guys got a lot of yellowtails, huh, Will?
Yeah, we did decent on the yellowtails, a lot of big ones off of one spot. We caught probably as much snappers in the daytime as we did at night.
Nice.
The jacks were tricky on the first couple spots we went to, so we did some snapper fishing for a little bit, then we went and got the jacks there at the end of the day. And the people who didn't catch one this trip lost them.
Lost them?
And they were there for the taking.
I heard a story out there from Estelle about a monster fish that took her around the boat 1.5 times and ended up breaking her off. You thought it perhaps might have been a big wahoo, huh?
Oh yeah, Estelle had a big one on.
Yeah.
And fought it for a while at night.
At night?
It was on top, straight out.
Really?
Right on top. And most of our sharks don't stay right on top like that.
Yeah, they'll sound at least 1 or 2 times. That's cool.
Good trip.
Yeah, looks like you guys did really well. So the big red grouper, what do you think he was? 15,
yeah,
18?
Something like that. Nice red grouper.
A lot of the yellowtail are pretty large. Are they pretty much average that size?
We got probably like 15 or 20 that size. A lot of them this size. A lot of lanes even mixed in. And decent on the mangroves too. Decent size on the mangroves.
Nice.
Lots of these 22 and 21 inch red grouper. A lot of those in there.
All right, cool. A good variety of fish. And lighter loads. And this weekend's 44-hour. You got a light load on that one too.
Yeah, less than that. Less than this trip on the 44-hour this weekend. And tangles aren't like red snapper season. It's much more laid back out here.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game once those 60 days of red snapper end, huh?
Yeah, totally different ball game.
Cool, man.
I mean, Tammy's the same, but the rest of it.
I appreciate it, Will. Any pelagic action?
We didn't do
They weren't firing?
No, the guys didn't want it this trip.
Ah, I gotcha. Nobody targeting them. All right. Nice amberjack pile. Woo. Nice pile of fish. Well, you guys heard it here from Will. I'm looking around seeing if snook you can't really see too well this morning. Also, the water's kind of high and still, so I don't see them stacked up. Once the water starts moving, we'll see more of those snook show up typically, but definitely a nice catch from our 39-hour fishing trip. We've been doing well out there, guys, and as Will said, red snapper season is over, so there's tons and tons of availability, tons of room on these trips. Instead of having 50, 45, 50 people, now we're having 30, 35, even 25 people on these long-range adventures, so a lot more room to move around, a lot more room to spread out and catch plenty of nice fish. As you can tell, we're doing well on a variety of species. Yellowtail bite's impressive. Amberjack, we're catching a lot of amberjack despite what we thought would be a very slow year because we just haven't been seeing a lot of jacks the last 4 or 5 years. But this year seems like we're doing extremely well. Basically, is about as good as you could expect compared to the last 5 to 7 years. So impressive amberjack bite overall. As Will said, if you were targeting them and you had the right tackle, you were catching keepers. And we also saw plenty of nice mangrove snapper, yellowtails. You saw some porgies, some almacos, banded rudderfish. We saw plenty of nice yellowtails. So all in all, a good trip. Hopefully we'll get on top of some gags here. Definitely changing weather, that storm moving around probably moved those gags around for us, but we'll work hard and find them again. Hopefully this weekend's 44-hour with the super light load will allow us some time to find them. Our 10-hour trips have been doing well near shore. We've been seeing a couple red grouper, caught a nice keeper gag recently, been seeing some mangroves, some lanes, and even a couple of those hogfish. So we're going out again today on a 10-hour hunting after plenty of good eating fish. We've got, I think, 26 people on today's 10-hour trip. So light loads on our 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 39 hours, all great opportunities to get out there and catch fish. 12-hour extreme and the 5-hour half days typically are a little bit more full, but 12-hour extreme only takes 16. So definitely a little bit more likely to fill up. But all the other trips, 39 hours, 44 hours, 10 hours, lighter loads, super light loads. Now kids are back to school, and definitely a little weird time of year where we see a big slump in crowds. So if you want to get out there, now is the time. It seems like everybody waits for October, November. Once it cools down 15 degrees or so, it seems like everybody comes out of the woodwork, and we're busy again. They're mid to late October through the end of the year. Also, gag grouper bite really well that time of year, so that could be part of it. But keep in mind, if you like lighter loads, now's the time. August, September, and into the first half of October is a great time to get out there and enjoy lighter loads, plenty of elbow room, and catching plenty of good eating fish. Also, near shore, we're seeing on the half-day trips, we're still catching plenty of fish, mostly those gray snapper porgies or white grunts, and then a few hogfish mixed in. So definitely good throughout the area. Inshore, we're still seeing plenty of snook around the pass, a couple redfish on the bottom, trout. The incoming tide is definitely best. The strong outbound tides, we're getting a lot of brackish water in the pass because of all that fresh water from all the rain we've been having. Actually, yesterday there was an alligator down there at the end of the boardwalk around Don's Dock. That's how much fresh water is in John's Pass. We've attracted alligators. So a lot of fresh water in the pass, which means on a hard outbound tide, especially the end of an outbound tide, we'll get that really kind of brownish, almost fell, really kind of brownish freshwater look to the pass. Whereas at the end of an incoming, like middle incoming to the end of the incoming, typically water gets gorgeous inside the pass, super clear, because we get a lot of that fresh Gulf water coming back. And that salt, the salinity level gets normal. So if you come down to the pass, you see really dark brownish water. That's not red tide, that's fresh water. And a lot of people are getting that confused. That fresh water comes when we get a lot of rain, mixing in with that salt water, and a hard outbound tide will push a lot of that fresh water out. Red tide forecasts look really good for the area, virtually non-existent. So keeping our fingers crossed that'll stay the way it was, and it won't change. Right now, the next 7 days look really good. It's nothing more than 2 foot, so it's 2 foot or less for the next 7 days. Nothing on the future forecasts for the next 5 to 7 days looks like it would be at all affecting our trip. So great time to get out there on the water. This weekend looks beautiful. Start of next week looks beautiful. So come out and join us sometime in the next 5 to 7 days and take advantage of this nice light load, great weather, and pretty good fishing. Y'all have a great day. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.